Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Investing and Trading Live. My name is Josh Lilquist, and today we're going to talk about some of the different high-flying stocks that are out there right now. Do a quick Tuesday morning, we'll call it a recap, but recap or pre-cap, whatever you want to call that. Yesterday, the market really seen some major weakness in the markets. The market ended yesterday, as far as the S&P 500. Let's look at the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. Yesterday, it ended the day at 431.44, which is down about 0.4% on the day. So we've been seeing this market sell off here from that supply zone that we've been talking about over the past several months, around the 445, 444 area. And it's coming down to a potential demand zone, which we talked about last week on the show. So we're seeing we're kind of range bound. It is in a downward move here, but the trend up is still intact. We'll see what happens with this demand zone around the 429, 425 area, 424 in the S&P 500. The Dow really has been more of a sideways market the past several months, really of 2023. Since November of 2022, the market's really been sideways. So not a whole lot of movement in the Dow. The NASDAQ, now that one yesterday really seen the biggest pullback. Yesterday closing at, as far as a QQQ, which is the NASDAQ ETF, closed on Monday at 357.68, down about 1.34% on the day. Now you would think that some of your commodities, like say your safe havens, historical safe havens of the world, the silver and gold, the GLD ETF actually closed last three sessions. Well, technically it's in a downtrend now, but yesterday closed at looks like around 178.51, and it's down on the day here, roughly at about 178.03. At the time of doing the show here live here today. Today is Tuesday, the 27th of June. So some of the other commodities that are out there, your ETF energy sector, which is XLE, really we'll call it more of a sideways market. XLF not showing a whole lot of opportunity there as well. And, just some different strategies that investors are able to utilize in the financial markets. You have stock, which is what everybody knows that. Options, which is basically buying stock or contracts or selling stock contracts to collect premium. And they offer different opportunities in the markets. So, for example, let's just say somebody that is looking to trade XLV, which is the next one on the list here, which is the healthcare sector ETF, XLV. That's currently trading at $130.31 per share. Now, to buy, how about we'll say to buy 100 shares of that, somebody would need in their account, so it'd be how you would do that is 130, so 130 times 100 equals $13,000. They would need $13,000 to purchase 100 shares of the XLV ETF. Now, another way to do that would be options, and I don't have an options chain pulled up right now, but essentially being able to buy this healthcare ETF at a discount with options. So one contract would control 100 shares of the XLV ETF. And essentially, you would need much less capital to do that. As I mentioned, I don't have the options chain up for that. But you also want to pay attention to volatility. Well, whether you're looking at buying or selling, sometimes that will dictate what your best strategy will be, whether if you want to buy it cheap, which is deflated, or expensive, inflated. And that's talked about more in different classes that we teach here. But moving on to silver, currently at $121.04. That is coming up off the lows. So with the stock market dropping these last few days, last week we'll say, the silver ETF is coming up off a demand zone around the $20.68 to $20.37 area. This is off a daily chart that I'm looking at. So will this continue to go up and the market go down? Who knows? But just make sure you have your risk management in place for that. And by the way, as we talk about different stocks here today, this is a highly regulated industry. We're not recommending any buying or selling, any recommendations on stock. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Now let's look at oil. We talked about oil last week. This is currently at $68.95 per barrel. This is the crude oil futures contract. Now this is in a major downtrend starting back from June of last year. So the last year, the oil market has really been cratering down roughly, we'll say 44%-ish as of today from the highs. So that's really been dropping over the past several months. We're seeing that at the pump. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin last week, and with BlackRock, they filed to be able to create a ETF which is backed by physical Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean for the cryptocurrency market? Now, basically what that means, if they achieve that filing for the Bitcoin ETF, and with that having to be backed by Bitcoin, what are they going to need to do? They're going to need to go and buy Bitcoin, which potentially could shoot this price of Bitcoin up pretty tremendously because there's not a lot in circulation. So currently price is at $30,849 for one Bitcoin. It is in this supply zone that kind of shows here on a daily chart, really kind of a messy supply zone, but it is there, and it respected it earlier back from April of this year. So we'll just keep monitoring Bitcoin moving forward, what happens with that. And I believe there's going to be some sort of announcement for BlackRock and that ETF, I believe in August. I think it was the beginning of August. So let's continue to monitor that. Since they did that filing, the market went up from 25,000, so right around 30. Went up about $5,000 per Bitcoin since the 21st or 21st of June, roughly, when they filed for that Bitcoin ETF exchange traded fund. So let's take a peek at HNT. This is one that I like. I've been mining HNT for quite some time, and price doesn't look too hot right now. It's been pretty flat over this past several months here, but we'll continue to monitor, see what happens with that. If Bitcoin a lot of times what happens with Bitcoin and the crypto market is if Bitcoin does go up, generally the majority of the cryptocurrencies will follow suit. So, but that's not always the case. So, moving on from crypto, let's go into the stock market. Now, we talk a lot about Apple on the show, and Apple just keeps chugging along. Apple currently at $186.59. It is higher on the curve right now, so there's not in my opinion, a ton of opportunity because it is at all-time highs. Do we want to buy something at all-time highs with the hope for it to go higher? Well, there's a potential it could go up, but there's not a lot of premium it's giving for selling options against it to, basically get paid to buy it at a lower price. Volatility should be low on this as well. So technically buying options might be a better opportunity with Apple than just buy the stock outright at $186.75 roughly. Tesla today is up about 1.7%, about $4 at $245.03. Meta, which is formerly known as Facebook, I like the formerly known, just the Prince. He used to change, kind of changed his name to the artist, formerly known as Prince. That's up about just over 2% here today as well, 2.79%. So some good opportunities with that one there. Not a ton. It is higher on the curve. Even though we're not at all-time highs, it's been in an uptrend ever since that low from November of 2022. Another high flyer is Roblox. That one actually is moving pretty good here. It's roughly at $41.49 per share, which from the close yesterday up about 5.84%. So this one is moving good today. So anybody that has Roblox might be feeling pretty good, even though that it hasn't done a whole lot since February of 2022. It's really at the same price it was at. Really, it's been cratering for many months here. From the highs back, probably 2021 is when the highs happened with our Roblox. Now, another one I want to just talk about here is a potential opportunity here, and this is just not saying to go and buy it right now because it's dropped a ton since some of the news came out. It is getting near a demand zone around 110, but it's Target. Target is... It's probably not given a whole lot of volatility or premium right now, but there might be some opportunities with some options here coming up with Target. If for those options traders that do think Target is a good company and it could, might be able to buy it at a discount here around $100 per share. AMC. So the other day, AMC actually was giving some decent premium. It was obviously lower on the curve with everything, right around $4.02 per share. Although there is some sort of demand zone around the $3 area, so it was offering some premium the other day. I'm not sure what it's offering today, so there might be some opportunities there. But really, AMC is one of those riskier stocks with some of the things that's happened over the past. I mean, you look at it back from 2021 when price shot up from right around $3 per share to about $40 per share, which is a 900% rate of return. Just crazy. So that's one that you really want to I would say be careful with, just because it does have some crazy moves. They do have earnings coming up here on the 10th of August. Yeah, the 10th of August. So they're you could see some moves here and pricing in some sort of movements. Their estimates, they're going to lose about 4 cents per share on that earnings report. So, but you never know what's going to happen with those earnings reports. So that's a quick recap on the day. For those of you that are trading currencies, there are some opportunities with in the currency market. You have monetary policy dictating a lot of that with interest rates, and it's really been, 2022 was a great moving market for the currency market. You had central banks changing monetary policy, changing trends in these markets. So you look at I was just looking at the U.S. dollar Japanese yen pair today, and it was crazy how back in 2022. That particular market dropped about 15%, and that's a big move for the currency market. Anytime you get a 1 penny move in the currency market, that's a big move in the market, and it's just being able to trade and invest with these, and you take advantage of the leverage is phenomenal because you get roughly around 50-to-1 leverage. Are you going to use that whole 50-to-1 leverage? I sure hope not. Quite frankly, the broker probably won't even let you. But you're able to get in the market with the currency market, which is the Forex market, at a much lower barrier of entry. So really compared to stocks, you can control much more. So at 50-to-1 leverage, if you do the simple math on it, for every dollar that an investor has, they can control up to 50. So if in this example of a $2,000 account, an investor could potentially control up to $100,000 in the currency market, which is buying efficiency, which we talked about, I think, last week on the show about a mortgage. Where you take a small down payment to control a much larger asset. That's the same thing in the financial markets. So just keep your positions protected here this week. We'll do another update this week later on. We'll have 4 different sessions for you tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to talk about some of the news that's been happening. Just pulling up Forex Factory here today. There was new home sales was good. Consumer confidence was good. So little, bigger events, but not big movers in the markets. Wednesday, the Fed Chair Powell, he's going to be speaking, so that's going to bring some volatility to the market. So for those of you short-term traders, make sure you have your stops tight with them, or even get out of your positions, because whatever Fed Chair Powell says, there's going to be some movements in the markets. The JPY, their people are speaking tomorrow as well. In Great Britain, their people are speaking as well. Thursday, Fed Chair Powell is going to speak again. So the rest of this week could have some fireworks coming up. He starts at 2:30 a.m. I don't know if that's right on Thursday. I don't think he would be speaking at 2:30 a.m., but we'll see what happens with that. Unemployment claims on Thursday at 8:30, and final GDP quarter-over-quarter is also happening at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, 29th. Friday, the 30th, not a ton of big news. You have, of course, PCE price index month over month. That's going to be at 8:30 on Friday. So that's really the only, according to Forex Factory, major event that could bring some volatility to the market. So keep your protection on, your stop losses, your targets, and have fun out there trading. Keep everything boring. Trading can be boring. That's a good thing. You want to take the emotion out of it. So next week we'll talk about more things, but as always, same time, same place next time. Until then, retire young, my friends.